What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Backcourt Bites, where we overreact responsibly to everything that's happening in the NBA. Tonight, we had some NBA Cup chaos. Lakers and Clippers, Battle of LA, basically turned into a Luka and LeBron showcase. The Magic dropped 144 on Philly in a game that looked fake on the box score. The Wizards actually won a game. Chris Paul officially on his last dance, and injuries are quietly reshaping the cup and the playoff race. Hit that like button, sub if you love this kind of breakdown, and let's get right into it. All right, let's start with this. The Lakers' big three just combined for 99 points, and it wasn't even that close. Luka drops 43, 13, and 9. LeBron adds 25, Austin drops 31, and the Lakers smoke the Clippers, and they clinch their NBA Cup group. This wasn't just another regular season game. This was the Battle of LA, NBA Cup group play, Lakers on a 5-game win streak, and the Clippers are trying not to spiral. So the stakes were pretty high. And the Lakers treated it like it actually meant something. Let's talk about Luka first, because wow. From the jump, he was in bully mode. In the first quarter alone, he dropped 24 points, hitting step-back threes, snaking pick and rolls, finding shooters in the corners. The Clippers defense looks like it has no idea whether or not they should send help or just pray that he misses. And then you got LeBron, who feels almost like a luxury at this point. He gives you a casual 25, steady pressure, plus that I know exactly when I need to take over vibe. And then there's Austin Reeves, 18 points in the fourth quarter alone, 31 total. He's out there playing like he's trying to steal somebody's all-star spot. Meanwhile, the Clippers, man, Harden puts up numbers. Kawhi gets his, but it never feels like they're really a threat. Defensively, they look a step slow in almost every rotation. Offensively, it's a lot of your turn, my turn, and not enough movement. And in the side drama, the NBA Cup courts are getting called dangerous by players. A heated moment and a Clippers ejection. Lakers fans chanting like it's a playoff game. Social media immediately went to, are the Lakers the best team in the West? Are the Clippers cooked? Is Luka already the best player in the league? Here's my take. If this is the version of the Lakers we're going to get, then yeah, in a one-game situation like the Cup knockouts, nobody wants to play the Lakers. LA fans, talk to me. Are the Lakers actually the team to beat in the West, or is this just a hot streak that they're on? Drop either contender or pretender in the comments and tell me why. And if you thought that scoreboard was crazy, wait till you see what happened in Philly, because the Magic just put up 144 in a game that looked like a my career rookie run. The Orlando Magic just scored 144 points on the Sixers, and Anthony Black decided to become Tracy McGrady for the night. On paper, this was supposed to be tough for Philly. No Joel, no Paul George. They're down a couple stars. They're in a cup game, and they're basically asking Tyrese to be Superman every night. Orlando, they're young, they're deep, and clearly not treating the NBA Cup like a preseason tournament. Anthony Black goes absolutely nuts. First off, woo pig. 31 points, 27 of those in the first half, 20 in the second quarter. The Magic score 51 in a quarter, 86 in the first half, and their bench drops 82 points, which is just stupid. It's one of those box scores where you double check it. It looks like it's a typo. It's 9 different players in double figures. Paolo doesn't even play, and they still turn this into a track meet. Philly hangs around for about a quarter, and then Orlando just hits a turbo button. Anthony Black getting downhill, balls pinging around, Suggs is out there throwing darts, and then we get a little spice. There's a little dust-up between Andre Drummond and Wendell Carter Jr. Jalen Suggs gets involved, and after the reviews and texts, Suggs gets ejected from what was basically a blowout. I'll show the clip after this, but turn on the Twitter, you see Magic fans screaming, "We're back." Sixers fans arguing whether the cup even matters. Neutral fans just posting 86.5. Here's the big question. Is this a fun anomaly or a preview? Because if the Magic's young core can produce like this without Paolo on the floor, and if Anthony Black is this good offensively, Orlando suddenly goes from a cute young team to, they might beat somebody. So I want to hear from you guys. Are the Magic a legit dark horse in the East, or was this a perfect storm to beat a beat-up Sixers team? Let me know in the comments. Type Magic Real or Magic Hype in the comments.
same pick and roll, but next time we want McCollum in it because he's a little bit more confident offensively.
Ninth three of the game for C.J. McCollum. Are you kidding?
Turnovers. As you see Bilal getting in there, taking the ball away from Porzingis. Wizards on the run. CJ tags the Hawks, clipping their win.
Anyways, much ado about nothing. Now, speaking of teams that almost never get to celebrate, there's a franchise in DC that finally got to feel what winning feels like, and it came on the back of one of the wildest shooting nights of the season. The Washington Wizards won a basketball game. And all it took was CJ McCollum dropping 46 points and 10 threes to snap a 14-game losing streak. The Wizards come into this one in a dark place. 14 straight losses, no home wins since April, 0 in whatever games they've played in the NBA Cup. This is like, are we cursed territory? Enter CJ McCollum. From the opening tip, he was in flamethrower mode. Finishes with 46, shoots 17 of 25 from the field, 10 of 13 from three. There's a stretch where every time he touches the ball, the entire Hawks bench looks nervous. He's coming off screens, pulling up in transition, flowing into step backs, just full on, I'm not losing tonight. And it's not just him. Rookie Alex Sarr shows up huge, 27 and 11, has a ridiculous plus 30 plus minus. The Wizards never trail in this. They go up big early. They lead by as many as 30. And for once, there's no late game collapse. There's no Wizard like meltdown, just competence for a whole 48 minutes. On social media, Wizard fans, half joking, half serious, posting parade down F Street memes. Neutral fans are like, wait, CJ's in Washington? And Hawks fans are asking how they lost by almost 20 to a team that hasn't won in a month. So here's my take. This win does not mean the Wizards are good, but it does mean that they have a blueprint on how to win games. Lean into McCollum as the steady vet, give Sarr all the reps he can handle, and stop pretending you're one piece away and start building this young core properly. To Wizards fans, does this win give you any hope here, or is it just a fun night in a long, ugly season? And for everyone else, would you rather see Washington go full rebuild or try to build around McCollum and Sarr? Now, while we're talking about veterans, let's shift from a guy dropping 46 to a guy that's been dropping dimes for 2 decades and just told us this is the end of the road. Chris Paul has officially entered the last dance. Reports say the point guard is retiring after this season, his 21st year in the league. Now, we're talking about a 12-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Defensive, member of the 75th anniversary team. He changed how we look at the point guard position. Now he's on the Clippers chasing one last deep run. While the timeline is full of tributes, highlight reels, and long threads about where does he rank, you scroll through Twitter and it's LeBron posting one of the coldest to ever do it. Old Lob City clips resurfacing. Rockets fans reminiscing about what if that hamstring didn't go in 2018. Suns fans remembering that finals run. Chris Paul is one of those guys where the story is complicated. Clutch playmaker, but also some brutal late game turnovers in big moments. Leader and floor general, but had messy exits in multiple spots. Brilliant mid-range assassin, but never got a ring. Here's the thing, though. He is without question one of the most influential point guards ever. You can see his fingerprints on smaller guards leveraging pick and rolls, the emphasis on controlling tempo and getting to your spots. How teams value high IQ initiators even late in their careers. But there's also the Clippers angle. This is his last run, and they're not exactly inspiring confidence right now. So you've got this tension. On one hand, Hall of Famer gets his flowers. On the other, a team that looks miles away from contending, wasting what could be his final shot at a ring. Here's my take. If the Clippers flame out early and CP3 retires without a ring, he's still probably top 5 point guard of all time. But I think he becomes the face of the greatest to never win it at all conversation, even ahead of Barkley and Malone, because the ball was in his hands so much in so many big moments. I'm curious where you guys land on this. Where does Chris Paul rank on your all-time point guard list? Top 3, top 5, outside of it? Drop your list in the comments below. I want to see who you guys have above him. And while CP3 is choosing to go out on his terms, some other stars and young bigs don't get that luxury. Injuries changed a lot about the NBA Cup slate and might quietly reshape this whole season. Some of the biggest impacts from last night came from guys who didn't even play. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Walker Kessler all made news and not the good kind. Joel Embiid sits versus the Magic, 144-103 loss. Paul George out as well for the Sixers. And in Utah, Walker Kessler's done for the season with shoulder surgery. That's an MVP, an all NBA level wing, and one of the better young defensive centers in the league, all sidelined while the NBA Cup is trying to build this momentum. Let's start with the Sixers situation. No Embiid, no Paul George. You saw what happened. They get destroyed. On one hand, you get it. Teams are cautious with stars. On the other, this is exactly what the Cup skeptics point to. If the stars don't play, why should we even care? And you got Walker Kessler in Utah, season-ending surgery. He was averaging a double-double, strong rim protection, and he looked like a cornerstone. This does a few things. It makes the Jazz's defense way worse, probably nudges them further toward the lottery than middle of the pack, and it wrecks fantasy teams all over the world. Social media is split. Jazz fans are depressed. Some people are telling the Jazz to tank harder. Fantasy guys are posting RIP to my season. Big picture injuries like this definitely move the league. The Magic's nuclear night versus Philly, way easier with Embiid and Paul George out. The West middle class, one less big body to deal with, shifts matchups all over the season. Here's my take. By the time we get to April, we're going to be looking back at Kessler's injury and say it was one of those sneaky tipping points that made the Jazz pivot harder into a rebuild. So here's what I want from you. Which injury this season do you think changes things the most? And do you think stars resting in Cup games hurts the tournament, or is it just the reality in today's NBA? All right, as far as play of the day, yesterday's play of the day was James Harden over 3.5 threes. He ended with 3. Not what we wanted to see, but we're moving on to today. Play of the day is going to be Dante DiVincenzo at OKC over 2.5 3-pointers. So let's lock that in, and we'll check on that tomorrow. That's going to do it for this episode of Backcourt Bites. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss tomorrow's recap because, like we know, there's always another crazy story coming and you don't want to miss it. Drop your hottest take from tonight's video in the comments. I might feature in the next episode. This is Wes from Backcourt Bites. I'm out.